All right, so I guess we'll all right, so I guess we'll just wait for everybody else to show up on live. Uh, uh, I need to mute myself from from the tab. I think the one person who's watching is probably me. To make sure of the comments. Let's see. If you guys would like to have your comment shown on screen, you can donate to my Ko-fi. Let me see if that's there we go. Yeah, to make sure that it's there. I think that's how you do it. Nope. Yeah, so if you guys would like to donate on Ko-fi, if you want your comments to be heard, to be seen on screen, all it takes is at the very minimum, like just $1. Um, so this is basically a new show that I want to try. Like it's just a general comic talk. It's not a draw stream. Uh, not really in a drawing mood right now. Um, so I figured, like, why not have a stream where we just talk about comics, talk about what you guys are reading currently or what you're collecting, what future comics you're looking forward to buying and reading. That's basically all that this show is about. But there doesn't seem to be anyone else here. Nobody wants to hang out with me. Nobody cares about me. I'm just kidding. I'm just here to wait. Just need to check up on something. While I wait for everybody else, I don't know if anyone can hear this. Gonna need to mute myself for a bit um while I what's up, FFS? Glad to see you're here. Just waiting for some more people to show up, to see what people want to talk about today, in terms of comics, like what they're currently reading, what they're looking forward to, or what comics they are collecting. Um, and we can also talk like some comic book movie stuff, like even comic book movie news, since they're still based on comics. Like for example, I'm really looking forward to the next Spider-Man movie. Um, though I've heard that Tom Holland, like, at some point, like, was hospitalized because he had a concussion doing a stunt. So hopefully he's doing okay, and they continue and they continue the movie. Hopefully the studio will kind of force him to, like, to just let let the professional stuntmen, do the stunt stuff. Because I don't think Disney want I don't think Disney can afford, um, to lose Tom Holland. Because I really do like him as Spider-Man. Not sure if I like him as Peter Parker as much. To me, like, I think the best Peter Parker was Andrew Garfield. I think he was the better Peter Parker. In terms of, like, who was the better live action Spider-Man, uh that's a tough one. I would have to say Tom Holland is probably the best one, but Andrew Garfield is also really close as Spider-Man. Um, like, I think the first Spider-Man, um, oh man, his name is escaping me. Um, the first one is a bit outdated. So I guess I'm more into, like, the newer actors. Tom Holland is okay as Peter Parker, but I think Andrew Garfield is a better. I think Andrew Garfield is the better Peter Parker. He's definitely a more modern Peter Parker, and and FFS has left. Boo. And, like, I was watching a video on the update on Liam Gray, so hopefully everything's okay. So I'll go ahead and mute myself again, waiting for other people to show up. Um, so yeah, just give me a minute. All right, so I'm back. Um, so yeah, so no one's here. Um, that's I want to talk about something, but I need someone to go to come into the chat and say something. Start the conversation off because I want to talk about what other people are talking about. Um, um, yeah. Um, so I just want to talk about something. But I need someone to say something in the comments. To sort of give me a topic to talk about. Whether it's about a comic you're currently reading or a comic that you're starting collecting, or maybe even talk about like some comic book movie news that has come up recently, or maybe even some anime that you guys are watching. Like I just want to talk. I just want to talk some stuff. Um, but I need some interaction. So please, somebody say something. Because I already talked about like um who's my favorite live action Spider-Man and who is my favorite live action Peter Parker. Which I said my favorite live action Spider-Man is probably Tom Holland, but my favorite Peter Parker is Andrew Garfield. Um I guess I could go down the line of all the different live action superheroes. Um for Superman, probably my most not probably, my most favorite live action Superman is Tyler Hoechlin. Tyler Hoechlin is like the goat of Superman. Like when uh when when I saw him wear that rebirth um rebirth inspired Superman suit, I was like, this is peak. This is absolute peak Superman. Um, Tyler Hoechlin is always going to be, for now, my most favorite live action Superman. Um, we got our first comment. Who do you think the next Batman is going to be in the James Gunn DCU? I think they said that's. I don't know if it's 100% true, but like I saw somewhere saying that someone is being casted as Batman. I'll have to look that up. Um, but like there's not many people that I can think of who can be the next Batman. I know that what's his name? In the Batman movies. Like I know it's not gonna be him because I think they want the Batman to be separate from the DCU, though I would not be against the Batman being in the DCU, but I don't think that's where they want it to be. Um trying to look up this I think there was a I think there was like a um sort of like a concept art of oh, like there was like a concept art that was posted very recently. No, it's not Pedro Pascal. No, no, I don't want that. No, we're all sick of Pedro Pascal. Um, I saw that there was like a concept art for the DCU Batman, but they use an actor, um, they use an actor as a model, which means that's not who they're going to be casting. But it's uh, but it's sort of like the kind of Batman that they're looking for, in terms of casting. Trying to find that image, but I can't find it. Like it was a while ago. Gonna have to look through my photos. Was just thinking in that accent on Batman. We've like I don't know what accent he would have. Like are we talking like a Spanish accent Batman? Oi, oi, "Oh, yeah, I'm Batman." I can't do like a Spanish voice. Doing I'm Batman. I can't do it. um, but yeah, like I'm looking through all my photos, trying to find that one picture that I think I saved, where I think they did this for the Joker as well. Sort of like a concept art of what they want for their Joker. Um, that like I think I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Pennywise in the recent It movies. That they used him as a model for their Joker, and I actually wouldn't mind him actually being casted as the DCU Joker. I think he would do pretty good as a Joker. I think he was a Joker in the Gotham show. And I thought he was pretty good. But I think in the Gotham show, I think they were going for a more scary Batman, a scary Joker, than a classic Joker. And it's really hard to find this picture that of like a concept art for Batman. Oi, Holmes, Oi, Holmes, I'm the Batman. Batman DCU concept. Okay, I think I found it. Just gonna uh, need to share, because I'm gonna be putting it up. Okay, found it. Share screen. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård was Pennywise. Yeah, yeah. There was a concept art where they use him as a model. So this was it. This is DC Studios concept art of their version of Batman, and I like this idea. Um, I guess they're going with with what they're doing with Batman in the comics right now. They're kind of bringing back the blue and gray. Um, though I like this, though I do like this shade of blue. It's not too dark, but it's not too bright either, and I like that. That the trunks doesn't actually look like trunks. It kind of reminds me of like the Arkham um of like the Arkham games outfit, which I think that is the main inspiration. I think Batman in reality works better if he has armor, because I think it would look ridiculous if it was just cloth. If it was just cloth. Um, because it works for Superman because he's already invulnerable, so it doesn't matter. Um, so the actor that they chose as a model. So this is not an actor that they've casted as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, but it's an actor that they use as a model to sort of give an idea of what they're looking for in Bruce Wayne, in terms of design. Yeah, yeah, Roy, and like I said, like it's very Arkham games style suit, which I think is probably the best way to go about it. Um because like I think Batman does need armor. Because I think it's kind of silly that he would wear like just a clothing, like just a cloth suit. Um so Brandon Skelnor, I'm not familiar with him, but he does look like a pretty good Bruce Wayne. Like he's not too old. He doesn't look too old, but he doesn't look too young either. Um but I am not sure what kind of Batman they're going for. Like, are they going like in the same direction as their Superman, where he's like a younger Batman, or if this is going to be a seasoned Batman who's been around for much longer. Um, because if he has a Robin, um, when they make his movie, well, the first movie that they're going for is the one, like the first DCU Batman is gonna be based on the story where he meets his son, Damian. Um, so he's probably going to be an older Batman. It would be crazy if they got Robert Downey Jr. Yes, I'm Batman. Like, well, Batman and Iron Man are pretty similar. So, um, though Batman is not meant to be like a super genius. Because that's what he has Lucius Fox for, to build his tech and weaponry. But I like this concept. Let me look for the Joker, DCU Joker concept art. Nope, not that one. There we go. There we go. There we go. So this is the Joker concept art, and yeah, and the actor that they chose as a model for this Joker is Bill Skarsgård, and I think he looks really good as the Joker. Um, I like that. If you really look at it, he does look a little bit more like um oh oh I need to switch. Like it put in a new tab. All right, so here we go. So this is the concept for the DCU Joker, and I actually like this concept. I like that they're bringing back like um the purple and green. At least I think it's green. Um, and I like that they're kind of bringing back the Jack Nicholson design of Joker. Like I like that idea. Um, and and even even Bill Skarsgård face, like he actually does look like a young um oh man, I just said his name. Jack Nicholson. Like this looks like a young Jack Nicholson Joker. And I'm all for that. I especially like the hairstyle. This could like this also looks like a live action a Batman Brave and the Bold Joker, like the cartoon because of that hairstyle. I don't know if they're actually gonna pull off that hairstyle or if they're it it kind of looks like Dark Knight Joker a little bit, but I'm seeing more Jack Nicholson and Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon Joker. I'm seeing a lot more Jack Nicholson than any other Joker, which I can actually appreciate, because I think Jack Nicholson's Joker is very underrated nowadays. Um, Now, obviously, Bill Skarsgård is just a model. He has not been casted as a Joker, though I think he should, because I think he will make a terrific Joker. Um, and I think I saw somewhere on Twitter that they casted their Brainiac. So I guess it's confirmed that the Man of Tomorrow, the main villain is going to be Brainiac. So I would also like to see let me look for Brainiac. Trying to look for, so discussing film. has said that Brainiac will be the villain of Man of Tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. They made a link to the rap that says James Gunn's Man of Tomorrow villain is Brainiac. I would like to see I would like to see what they're gonna do with Brainiac. Okay, oh, and I think there's a parody account called Discussing Fish. It's a parody account saying that Vin Diesel has been cast as Brainiac. No, I would actually not be against that. I actually will not be against that idea of but I don't think Vin Diesel can physically do any acting anymore, um but I would like to see what they do with Brainiac for the DCU. What about Mads Mikkelsen as Joker? I don't know who that is. I am not up to date with all the actors. Matt Mikkelsen has not played the Joker in any official film or show, but association comes from fans creating art and discussions. So people, I see people have been making art, um, of him as Joker, and I kind of, I don't really see it. Like, if they want to go for like a really scary Joker, like I think it'll be cool if they got um trying to think of his name. Man, my brain is just not working today. Um William Defoe. Like I think William Defoe. Oh, he's from the Hannibal TV show. I never watched Hannibal, so I don't really watch a lot of live action shows unless it's like a DC or Marvel show. Better than Ruby was reading yesterday. um, but like I think William Defoe would make a terrific Joker. Because he does a really good Green Goblin. And Green Goblin is basically a Joker clone. Though I don't think intentionally. Because they both behave very similarly, and I think William Dafoe will make a very good like older Joker. Plus, I think he can be really terrifying if he was put on that white makeup. That would be fantastic. um, though, I think for Brainiac, like I really want to see what they do with him. Like, are they gonna do like a very humanoid Brainiac? Like um like in the animated movie Superman Unleashed, which I think is based on another Superman comic, but I can't remember what the name of that comic was. Um Animated movie. Trying to find that image with Brainiac. Where is he? you, you know, I'm something of a joker myself. That would be a terrific line if they ever did that. You know, I'm something of a joker myself. That would be great. Like, I'm kind of expecting them to do this Brainiac. That's kind of what I'm expecting them to do. But probably a bit thinner. Um, though it will be cool if he was like more he's more a machine now than man. Um but I think it will really please the fans if this was the version of Brainiac that we get in Man of Tomorrow. I think the guy they played Lex could have been a Brainiac. Yeah, I think he could have. Um, but I think he's fine as Lex Luthor. Though it would be sick if they have Lex Luthor like fuse with Brainiac, just like what they did in the DCU, no, in the DC animated universe, um, where I think it was in Justice League Unlimited, where no, was it Justice League Unlimited or was it regular Justice League? Where Lex Luthor and Brainiac kind of fused together to become like this this ultimate life form. And like the Flash had to sacrifice himself in order to stop him. Um, I think that will be cool. Though I don't think that's what they're gonna do. Um, I think the story is gonna be that like Brainiac is coming and Superman and Lex Luthor. The Super Family. So it's Superman and Supergirl like had to like had to make this agreement with Superman to have Lex Luthor like help them. And what if Lex creates Brainiac as the new weapon he made? I don't see that happening because I think that's a bit far off. Because I want Brainiac to be like like kind of like in the Superman animated series where Brainiac was basically an AI, and I think that will be a very timely kind of villain where Brainiac is an AI, but he used technology to kind of kind of like a fusion of animated series and in that one comic where he basically took over an alien's body. um that the Brainiac that you see on screen, but like that's not his real body. Like that's just an alien body that he took over as a vessel. Yeah, because I want Brainiac to be sort of like a powerful AI that took over an organism's body in order to be like this ultimate life form that not only has a brain but also has the physical strength to back it up. Because I think that's the only way they can make Brainiac an actual threat in this movie. Because he needs both the brains and the brawn. Because if he was, because if well, because if he was, because if he was just a big brain, an AI, though actually like it would be cool if in a scene that Brainiac like uses his AI capabilities to like take over like Lex Luthor's mech suit and he forces the mech suit to fight Superman. I think that will be interesting. And I know, of course, that by the end of the movie, Lex is never going to come to terms with Superman. Because that's kind of the point of Lex Luthor, is that he's always going to see Superman as an enemy, as like a rival. So they can't break, that mold. Lex Luthor always has to hate Superman. Um, uh, you guys are gonna need to excuse me for a bit. I might have to pick up my delivery. I'll be right back. Legion of Superheroes superhero movie Brainiac was wild, made a Frankenstein body of his clones. Yeah, that was weird and creepy. um um we also really need like a we really need a Legion of Superheroes movie. Like, I'm surprised they haven't considered that yet. Um because I would love to see like Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad and Starboy to be in a live action movie. Uh I think they've had oh man. I think they have appeared like in like some live action shows, like in Supergirl, but I don't think they ever showed up in like any live action movies. I think Legion of Superheroes needs to have their own movie. I think that'll be cool. um oh yeah, so I'll be logging off like at 5:30 because I think that's when CG Church is gonna start. Um so once it's 5:30, that's when I will end the stream. Um yeah, so um if you guys have any more topics or questions, that you guys want to talk about, um I'll be waiting for people to say something, and just to see like what other stuff you guys want to talk about. Looking up some looking at my stuff for on Kablam. Looking at my invoices. Still reviewing my files. Uh yeah, so Roygan, if you have anything else you want to talk about until like 5:30, so like in 16 minutes, if there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm here to listen and talk about stuff. Have you seen the Sora 2 AI in Japan suing? Um, I have not heard anything about Sora 2 and Japan suing. Um, the whole thing with like people making AI animations based on using IP that they do not own. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, like Japan does not have um Japan does not have copyright laws like what we have in the US. Um like there's no such thing as fair use when it comes to Japan because they have very different laws. That Toei Animation owns the rights to like One Piece and Dragon Ball, so you can't like just make your own fan animations, and uh, like you can't even make like abridged parodies, without getting in trouble by Toei because they have very different rules when it comes to when it comes to like fan made stuff. But for some reason they allow fan made manga or dojinshi. And like they allow you to sell um dojinshi of IPs that you don't own. Like it's like it's really weird. I saw a One Piece short about it. It looks so real. Um, yeah. AI is really getting powerful. Like I can see animation studios getting to a point where all they need are keyframe animators, and they use AI to kind of like fill in the blanks. Um, you, so they just make one part of a scene. Yeah. So they make like one keyframe, and then like another keyframe, and then they just let the AI like just fill in the blanks. And that's all they really use AI for, as sort of like a, as sort of a way to make things go faster. But I don't know, like AI is AI is getting out of hand. I don't like the idea of like just anybody can just make their own movie just by typing it into a computer, and they could just make any movie they want. So it's kind of like that line from Syndrome in the Incredibles. Everyone can be super, and when everyone is super, no one will be. Once everybody's an artist, nobody is. So um, but yeah, like I think AI should be used in a very minimal way, but I don't think it should be something that like just anybody can use. That like just anybody can make a 2.5 hour movie. Anybody can make an hour and a half animated movie, or 20-minute animated episode. Because I think that will ruin Hollywood. I don't think Hollywood is going to be okay with that. Yeah. So if there's anything else, I don't know what else to talk about. Um, I've been seeing that the Absolute, the DC Absolute universe is doing very well so far. Um, I like seeing a bunch of shorts showing how weak Absolute Batman is compared to everybody else. Simply because Darkseid took away the one thing that makes Bruce that makes Bruce competitive in the DC universe, and that's his money. Because like he gets to keep his mom at least, but he doesn't get his, but he doesn't get to be a billionaire. So Darkseid like really nerfed Batman. Um, I think out of the entire Justice League, I think Darkseid hates Batman the most because Batman is such a Gary Stew, in my opinion, because the people who write him like make him a Gary Stew. That like he can just do anything just because he has prep time, you know, and it's ridiculous. uh, I'm liking Absolute Superman. I really like the costume that he gets. Um, it's a really cool costume that um that, that like I think that like it kind of reminds me of like Mark Hamill's Man of Steel suit, but it's also kind of fiery, because it's like an AI suit, and I like that the cape can also act as like wings, or and a whole bunch of stuff. Uh, but but yeah, like Batman shot Darkseid. Of course of course he's gonna get his comeback. Yeah. Yeah, Darkseid does not like Batman. Like he probably hates Batman more than Superman. But like the one thing I don't understand about the Absolute Universe is like, what is Darkseid trying to do? Like, is he trying to make the Absolute version of the heroes like become but like become part of his slaves, or like I just don't understand what the point of it is. I know that like I've heard that like in that the absolute heroes are gonna collide with the canon DC universe. I think that's gonna be interesting to see canon Superman fight absolute Superman. Because I would really like to see that fight. I think the interaction with absolute Batman and canon Batman is gonna be really funny. Like especially when if they talk about that canon Batman is super rich, studies them in their absolute best. Right. Wait, wait, but but how is it that they're absolute best? Um, like I think you're gonna have to explain that a little bit more. Like, because Darkseid like completely changed like these characters. So how are they like in their absolute best? So like Superman would be in his absolute best if he never lived with the Kents, because you figure that that's Batman in his absolute best, when he was raised by the Kents. Um so like is Darkseid like trying to uh trying to like like trying to figure out like their um what's the word I'm looking for, that like he puts him in this situation where he takes everything from them, and it sort of gives them like they don't have anything to like to hold them back or something. Like, is that what you're talking about? I forgot what I saying and sent it by accident. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I just never understood what the I never understood the reasoning for Darkseid creating the absolute universe. Um, and apparently, like all the villains are like now the Justice League. I guess it's sort of like Darkseid wants the polar opposite, where good is bad and bad is good. Because that's sort of his like well that's actually the mindset of a lot of evil people, is that evil people think they are doing good, and the people that are doing good are actually doing the bad thing. you know you know your good thing is my bad thing, and my bad thing is and my bad thing is your good thing. you know it's like a it's like bizarre world kind of thing. So I only got like 6 minutes before CG Church starts, and that's when I'm gonna end this stream, and just go watch CG Church. Um but yeah, like if anybody has like any last minute topics, I see there are two people watching. Thanks for two of you for coming out and and hanging out. You've been playing a new Pokemon game? Yes, I have been playing the Pokemon Legends EA. I have beat the game. At least like when you get like the first credits. Have not been playing it since. I'm just waiting for the Mega Dimension DLC to come out. I think it's been confirmed that there are going to be like Z forms of Mega Evolution, and I'm really hoping that later on that we get that we get like Mega Charizard and Mewtwo Z. That's what I really want. Because we already got the X and Y versions of Mewtwo and Charizard, so they need to have their Z forms, including Raichu. What are your thoughts on all the Mega Evolution? Yeah, like I think Mega Evolution is probably the best and most popular mechanic in the Pokemon games. Um, I never really liked the Gigantamax because they felt like for some Pokemon they felt like Mega Evolutions. You know, like with Pikachu, like it's basically a giant Mega Evolution, or that cream that cream Pokemon where when it Gigantamaxes, it turns into a cake, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, okay, so it's basically a Mega Evolution. It was dumb to big forms, like, the Gigantamaxes are meh. Like, I just don't think it fits with Pokemon. Like I think Mega Evolutions is like the perfect thing for Pokemon, which is why I'm very happy that they're bringing it back. And hopefully for Gen 10, they continue with the Mega Evolutions, because that's what they tend to do. Is that if they introduce like a new mechanic, all the games, whether whether it's like a remake or a Legends game, like they follow that mechanic. So now that they're bringing back Mega Evolutions, I hope that Gen 10 will continue with the Mega Evolutions, which I'm really excited for next year, because it's like the day before my birthday for Pokemon Day. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a trailer for Gen 10. Because 2026 is going to be the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, and I think Gen 10 is like the perfect it's like the perfect game to announce for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. You think Pokemon's future is going into space? I don't think so. I think they're going to continue creating more regions, on their world. Um, I've heard that the new region is going to be based on it's going to be on Eastern Asia. So like basically China. Um, So I'm very interested in seeing what they do, but honestly, like I really want a Pokemon region that's based in Australia, and the Pokemon professor is basically Steve Irwin. Like that's that's all I want. And the Steve Irwin professor is also like the Elite Four champion. Like that's what I need so bad. Though going to space, like it's not improbable, but but if it's if just creating more regions is what keeps making the game popular, they're just gonna keep doing it. I'm thinking South America. I've heard, well, like there have been many rumors about the next region. One person said it was gonna be based in Greece, which I'd be totally cool with. Um, one, I think a leaker said it was gonna be based in China. Though South America might be cool. Um, though I think Paldea is the closest thing because it's like based in Spain, and that's gonna be like the closest thing to be based on like a Spanish culture. But yeah, like it's 5:30, and CG Church will be starting. Maybe has already started. It has already started. But they're just doing like their 15-minute intros before the show actually starts. Um, I never liked the idea of doing like 15-minute intros. Like I would just do like one intro and then like just start. Um, I've been thinking about an intro for this show, but I just can't think of anything to use as an intro. Because for my draw streams, like I want to use Stan Lee's graduation speech. Um, because it's fitting for the draw stream, but I can't think of anything that is that is good for this show where we just talk about comics. Unless I can use like clips from the Big Bang Theory, where they talk about comic stuff. And I sometimes find their conversations funny. um when they do the when they talk about comics, like I especially love the scene where the girls are talking about comics, and talk about like which characters are better, and then they switch to talk about like how hot some of the characters are, which I think is really funny. But yeah, I'm also hoping that like maybe in 2027 that we'll get like a black and white remake. Um, I'm willing to bet that all like quote unquote remakes are going to be Legends games. So I think it'll be cool if in Pokemon Legends, like best of Ken Penders from One Plays would be a funny intro. I do not know that one. Um, best of Ken Penders. I have no idea who that is. Oh, the One Plays compilation. Like I don't know, it has to be it has to be relatable to the comic talk show. Like it can't be just a bunch of like silly jokes. That doesn't make sense. Like it works for it's like that sort of thing works for for everyone else, but I kind of want the intros to kind of reflect what the show is about. Um as for like Pokemon, like I think it'd be cool if the Legends game kind of does like a um like it takes us to the past of Unova, and it's all based on like Native American culture, especially when Unova is meant to be based on like the United States. So I think a past, uh, uh, like it, or I guess like an ancient Unova is heavily based on, is heavily based on, like like the Indian American culture. I think that will be really cool. So that's all I got for today. Thanks, Roygan, for keeping me company. Hopefully, you can tell everybody to join in the show. I've been here for over an hour, and I was just gonna do this until CG Church started. So I will see you guys later.